Wilhelmina Denise Whitewater was 45 years old when she made plans to go somewhere on July 31st, 2018. She left her home in Tucson, Arizona, and has not been heard from since. Jennifer Jessie was a strong and proud Indigenous woman from the Seminole Nation. Her life was cut short at 30 years old, and she was found March 11th, 2020, on the roadside by a passerby in Union City, Oklahoma. Ria Ann Ochoa went missing from Scottsdale, Arizona on June 17, 1997. She was 28 years old. She is originally from the Salt River Reservation. She was last seen walking away from a residence in tribal housing in Scottsdale, and she hasn't been seen or heard from since. Hey everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well.
You're what, T-minus 2 days and counting from launching your youngest child off into college.
Right. She's so ready. She's so sick of us. And well, all of her friends have COVID. And so this last week, her friends are some of them are super sick, but they're all quarantined. And so she's just been home staring at us because she's got nothing else to do. And last night we ran an errand and I got out of the car and she stayed in the car. I said, "Are you getting out?" And she goes, "I just need a break from you." I was like, "Oh." She said, "No, I mean, you're great, but like, I'm going to just sit in the car for a while. I can't even make myself go back in that house." And that's when I knew she's ready. She's really ready. Also, you guys ought to see my office. She's taken it over as packing headquarters. This is the only good spot. But how this is all going to go into her car and mine, well, I don't know. But, one way or another, it's going to work out. It kind of has to.
Fit or it won't.
Mm-hmm. So she's ready, and I'm glad that she needed to get to this point, that she's ready to clear out of here. And, it's going to suck to have her gone. But at the same time, my God, she's going on a big adventure.
She is.
She's going to play college softball. And softball starts immediately. Their first game is in less than a month. It's in like 3 weeks.
Wow.
Less than that. It's on like the 19th. I mean, it's going to come hard and fast.
Sure is.
Besides, school itself. So anyway, right. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I can't wait. And all of the above. And also, I can't wait to get my office back.
Right. I see you're spreading out into your house in a way you haven't been able to before. Mm-hmm. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. When you live in a small house with 3 kids, you don't have room. And suddenly we have all this room. And it's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
How they all come home for Christmas and then I don't know what the hell we'll do. But,
Well, they'll have to fit somewhere, I guess. Or you'll have to send one of them down to my house or at Joe's house or somewhere.
Someone might have to live in the camper. That's all.
There you go. There you go. Pull up the fifth wheel.
Yeah.
Well, I have good news. Yes. I don't have COVID.
Yeah.
If you saw yesterday's show, I've been sick over the weekend. My wife and I both have, and we were worried we had COVID. And we got our PCR tests back this morning, and they are negative. So I'm still not feeling super awesome, but I instantly felt about 50% better knowing it wasn't COVID because I had it last year at Thanksgiving. And I was like, please, I do not want to do this again.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
well, thank God you don't have COVID, and whatever this is shall pass, and
it will. Yeah. And we'll be fine. And I get to go camping this weekend, and I get to see Mars before she leaves tomorrow. And I get to do all of those things, which makes me very happy.
That's right.
Yeah. So today's show is a cold read for Katie. And we have committed to doing an MMIW case every week for the whole year. And we've been doing that. And this is an MMIW case for you, but is actually 3 MMIW cases for you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the problems that we find with these cases is that many of them have little to no news coverage, little
Mhm.
to no investigation. There's very little information about these missing or murdered people.
Yep.
And so I thought maybe a good way to do this would be to combine their cases. So I've chosen three very scanty on the information
Mhm.
cases for Katie to cold read for us because I feel like we want to get their names out there. We want to get this information out there.
Yes.
But at the same time, we want to give you guys an episode you want to listen to too. So we feel like this is a way to do
Right.
both.
It's a hard balance. With that being said, if you have an MMIW case for us, if you have a family member or friend or a community member that has been murdered or gone missing and you want us to feature it, please get our attention. Send us an email, come
Yeah.
message us through our Facebook page at True Crime Paranormal. Get our attention,
Mhm.
and we will work with you and put together a comprehensive case.
We
We
will.
want to.
We do.
But sometimes we can't even find family to be in contact with. Like, this is a
Right.
challenge. It's a big challenge sometimes.
It is, and you have to understand that sometimes there's 3 or 4 news articles about a case, and all of them say exactly the same thing.
More often than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you know more if you have a case in mind that you know more about, please help us, you know?
Yeah.
We are always willing to do that. So, let's get started. So, we're gonna do
Okay.
these one at a time. Katie's gonna read them individually so she doesn't get them mixed up because, it can get confusing when you're because these cases are completely unrelated to one another.
Yeah.
So, let's start with Wilhelmina Denise Whitewater.
Okay.
Wilhelmina was 45 when she went missing. She went missing on July 31st of 2018. She just had plans and left her house. She is from Tisal, Arizona. I haven't really seen anything about what those plans were. She was just going somewhere and left her
Mhm.
house, and no one has seen or heard from her again. So at the time of her disappearance, she was 5'4" and she weighed 140 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. So she was last wearing a couple of rings and black pants and a black and white jacket and blue and purple running shoes. She is from the Navajo Nation and her family misses her. And they
Yes, they do.
absolutely believe that someone knows what has happened to her. And they would really like some help in finding her. So, Katie, when you look into Wilhelmina,
Yeah.
what do you think happened to her?
So she left her house on foot, correct? That's
Yeah.
what I'm seeing. She left her house on foot. Mm-hmm. I feel like she got in a car with people she knows.
Okay.
But that they went somewhere. I feel like maybe they went, it looks more like a public gathering, almost like a fair or a concert or a something where there were lots of other people.
Okay.
And ended up leaving there pretty briefly. She wasn't there very long and ended up leaving with someone that she did not know.
Okay.
And I feel like they were going to go get food or something. Like, it wasn't like she was going on a trip or she was going somewhere far. I feel like she thought she was just going to ride with them somewhere quick and come back to where she was. This wasn't far. It wasn't meant to be something big.
In her mind, anyway.
In her mind, yeah. Yeah. But I feel like once they started driving, they wouldn't stop. I can see her beating on their arm, screaming at him, telling him that they had to stop the car, they had to let her out, and they just kept going and kept going and kept going. I do feel like she was taken out of state. I feel like she was taken to New Mexico.
Okay.
And I feel like she was someone that would have been taken into trafficking, which is interesting because she's way too old for trafficking, but I feel like she looked younger than she was. I feel like that was the intention, but I do feel like in her attempts to get free from them that she was killed. I don't feel like she would have ever left her family. I don't feel like this was intentional. I don't feel like she just cut bait and ran. I feel like that's what happened. I do feel like her body is buried somewhere in New Mexico, like out in the, I don't know if they call them the Badlands in New Mexico like they do in Montana, but out in the
desert.
desert, yeah, out in the no man's land kind of place. I feel like it's possible that her remains will be found at some point.
Okay.
But I feel like it was in her process of trying to get home, trying to get away from these people. Yeah.
That she was killed. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry for that, and I'm so sorry for Wilhelmina's family, but it would
Yeah.
be good for them if her body could be found so they could at least have some closure.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we have Jennifer Jessie.
Yes.
Jennifer is from the Seminole Nation. She was killed when she was 30 years old. So she was found, her body was found on March 11th of 2020 along a road in Union City, Oklahoma. And her body was identified 2 days later. There has been no justice in this situation. She was well loved in her family. And her family says the murder robbed them of their precious loved one and that no justice has been had. There is a reward of $5,000 out for information to help solve her case. And there's also a photo. So I'm going to show you this photo. This is security footage near a Brahms restaurant, which is not far from where her body was found. And all police have said about this photo is that this is a person of interest. This person may know something about her death. They haven't called them a suspect. They do not know who this is. They've put this photo out into the world. That's why there's a $5,000 reward, hoping that someone will come back and identify who this is. So my question is, do you feel like this person was involved in her death or that they know something? What is it with this person?
Yeah, I do feel like that person.
We should say, sorry, I realize there are people listening. This is a man. He has a bandana on his head. He's wearing a red sweatshirt and black pants. And he's wearing light blue tennis shoes with pink laces. And that was one thing that people really wanted out there because that was kind of unusual.
Yeah.
You can't really tell from the image his race or his age necessarily. He kind of looks like he has facial hair to me in that picture. But anyway, sorry. I realized I should say that.
Yeah, I do think that he was involved. I think that he's an associate or a friend of the person who actually killed her. There's something about Jennifer that I feel like she always stood up for the underdog. And she always, she was fairly outspoken, that she would speak her mind. I feel like Jennifer was killed because she was trying to blow the whistle on something or stand up for someone. There is a real energy here of her being using her mouth, and saying something that somebody didn't like. But that guy reeks of mental illness to me. That he, and I don't think he killed her, but I think he was with the person who did. Again, I feel like there was some major paranoia here happening, and that whether they thought that she was going to speak her mind or she was going to speak her mind, because I think she was. I feel like the people that killed her were trying to save themselves because she was trying to speak up about what they were doing. I know that's not a whole lot of help, but I do feel like this had to do with her standing up for somebody that she loved.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so last, but certainly not least, we have Rhea Ann Ochoa. Rhea went missing from Scottsdale, Arizona on the 17th of June in 1997. She was 28 at the time. So she was from the Salt River Reservation. And she was last seen, she was walking away from a residence that is in tribal housing in Scottsdale, Arizona. She was just simply walking away from a residence, and kind of like Wilhelmina, she was just never seen again. Her case actually was only recently put on NamUs and actually treated as a missing persons case. I think that for a long time it was a thought to be just some kind of a runaway situation.
Of course it was.
Right, but so recently her case has had a little bit more attention because her case has gone on to NamUs and some of the other some of the other places where these cases can go. And so her family is really hoping that this renewed attention may actually bring them some closure, but there is nothing known about where she went, who she went with, or what happened to her.
Her case is a little different because she wasn't killed intentionally. She was hit by a car. She was walking down a road, and I feel like she was hit by a drunk driver. It was a car with a few people in it that were inebriated. I feel like they hit her and killed her, and it happened really fast. I feel like these were young people. I feel like they had already had some trouble with the law and weren't willing to be in trouble again. I feel like her body was placed in a body of water somewhere.
Okay.
Not too far, I think, from where she disappeared. I don't know that they thought she would stay missing forever, but I don't feel like they were from where they were. I feel like they were out partying and driving through the area.
So they weren't from the Scottsdale area.
Well, maybe from the Scottsdale area. They weren't from the reservation, though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, but they just, this happened at night, and they literally just loaded her up and put her in their car and drove to a body of water and threw her in, and figured if her body surfaced at some point, they'd be far from it because they weren't, from that direct area. I think they were from the state, but not from that direct area. And off they went. And I also really, really wonder if her remains have been found, but they haven't been identified back to her. This is one of those cases that I suspect that remains have been found, but are sitting in some cold storage somewhere where they have not been, the DNA's never been done. She's just a Jane Doe, but they don't know.
Okay.
But
well, maybe her getting put into NamUs, maybe that will actually help them identify her body.
Maybe so. That could be the key for her, for sure. But yeah, so a little different on hers because she wasn't murdered, but she was mowed down by some idiots that then, of course, didn't want to take responsibility for what they did and have left her family wondering all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really unfortunate. Well, thank you for that. I feel like this is one way for us to get more of these names out there into the world so that people can be aware. If you are interested in pictures of any of these women, come to our YouTube channel, and there are pictures of all of them in the introductory video.
Yeah.
In case, any of this happens to ring familiar to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, it is a Tuesday, and we will be back tomorrow with another show, as well as our live stream on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain. This is our case updates. And I will also be back kind of late on Wednesday for another update because Chad Daybell's children are being interviewed on 48 Hours, and that's going to air at 9 p.m. Mountain. And so I'm going to watch that, and then I'm going to come onto a live stream and share that with you guys. And then we will be back on Thursday with the Psychic Hour, and Katie will be out of town. So my special guest host will be my wife, Rhonda.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
also, patrons, look for a brand new Patreon breaking today. That is Serial Killers and Their Souvenirs.
Yeah.
Prepare to be, and I don't even know what.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't even know what to say about that, except for, if you find this stuff interesting, you will like this.
If you don't, I don't know what to say. We're sorry.
Why are you here? No, I'm just kidding. Gosh. Yeah. Well, you guys, you know it. We are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Take care.